New this morning, Senator Tommy Tuberville is reintroducing a proposal that he first unveiled last year called the Financial Freedom Act. It aims to roll back a policy introduced by the Department of Labor back in March that issued guidance for retirement plan sponsors against incorporating cryptocurrency in 401k plans.
Some folks in the Senate seem to actually be interested in permitting American people to invest in crypto at their own discretion. Does it seem like that would give the public too much freedom over their own future, or should the government stay out of it entirely? The Financial Freedom Act would make that distinction. As always, thanks for tuning in.
Joining us right now first on CNBC is Senator Tommy Tuberville. And Senator, thanks for being here today.
Thank you.
Let's talk a little more broadly about what this legislation will actually do. I think it was originally introduced not about crypto per se, but more about the idea of ESG rules that had been rolled out by the Department of Labor. You want to explain a little bit about the backstory?
Yeah, well, it happened almost a year ago, coming up in March. First of all, every American should have the right to invest their retirement money how they see fit. But last March, President Biden and the Department of Labor got involved in this. And for years, every American had the opportunity to go through what we call a brokerage window in their 401ks. The Department of Labor said, you know, we need to get involved in this. We don't like the looks of cryptocurrency. We want to make sure that we limit whatever we can through these 401k, through these brokerage windows. And so they did that. We thought it was a huge overreach. They didn't go through the proper channels. They didn't go through public comment. They basically broke the law by doing this. They just said, we're going to do it. We don't care what anybody else says. And so that's when we got involved. So we put in the Financial Freedom Act. We introduced it, basically saying you can't do this. You have to let the American people invest in what they want to, because it might not be just crypto. Right now we're talking about crypto. In the future it could be gas and oil stocks, mineral stocks, wind and solar, water, anything like that. So it's just an overreach by big government is all it is. And we want the American people to have the latitude to do whatever they want with their money through investing it in a 401k. That they've worked for that money all their lives.
Let me just play devil's advocate. I mean, we had a story earlier this week about how you have to be an accredited investor and have at least $200,000, maybe $300,000 in investable assets if you want to invest in brand new companies, angel investing companies. They do that because so many of these brand new companies go belly up. North of 65% of them, I forget what the number was, it may have been north of 80% of them go belly up. And you don't want people who don't do this for a living or who aren't experienced in this getting taken advantage of and losing all their money. Crypto, I would argue, could be seen as one of those very new asset classes. It is a new asset class. It's unregulated. Congress hasn't been able to pass regulations that make it clear who's in charge, and we've seen some pretty big blow-ups as a result. There's got to be some limits on some of these things because you don't want the American public getting taken advantage of.
The government is scared to let the citizens set sail into uncharted waters without its approval. I say it's time to reel in that anchor.
Well, who's to say big government's better at choosing one stock over another or one commodity over another?
No, I hear you, and I understand your concerns about this
Yeah.
being taken to things that people don't like gas and oil. I hear your concerns about that, but there are limits that do already exist about assets that we don't allow people to invest in regularly. So it's not the only thing that's out there, and I would say if Congress would actually get its act together and regulate the industry, you might feel better about having people going in, at least knowing the rules of the road.
Yeah, this Financial Freedom Act, though, gives that one brokerage window. It's one area that the investor can say, listen, I think that this is going to be good. I've earned this money, and I think this company or this whatever they get invested in crypto is going to do well, and they want to invest a small part of their money. It's not all their money, it's just a small window in terms of their investment. Now, we go back to crypto, unfortunately, Washington, D.C., Capitol Hill has let crypto down. We did not regulate it. We ran FTX to the Bahamas because there was no regulation. If we would have kept them in the United States, we would have known what was going on with FTX. We have two bills, bipartisan bills, in the Senate as we speak, and probably we will be reintroduced in this Congress to regulate crypto. It will survive in some form or fashion. Digital assets will survive. But, you know, the overall scheme of things, what we want to try to do is make sure the federal government doesn't step into everything that they're not supposed to step in. When the American people have worked hard for that money, they have the right to do what they want to with it, and who's to say the federal government is better at this than the individual?
What kind of support do you have? I know that this is something that other senators, including Joe Manchin, have co-signed with you. What level of support do you have?
Yeah. We've got very good support. It just never made it to the floor last year. The Democrats had so many things going on that there wasn't enough time in the day to get this on the floor. I think this year we got a good chance. We've got, as you said, bipartisan support. I think we've got a good opportunity, but at the end of the day, it's the right thing. Let's don't mess around with the money of people who have worked so hard to gain and then have an opportunity to build on that. Who's to say that the federal government's better than the individual?
Thanks for watching, everybody.